Bitcoin hits another all-time high of $94,000. Is this the top? Is it time to sell or keep buying? This is the big question. I'm going to dive into all of that today. Bring in my analysis, the team's analysis to help you understand, should you keep buying? What are the altcoins they're going to run? What are the sectors, the narratives? My tips for this point where we're getting to price discovery and Bitcoin really rips. This is really the time where you can make a lot of money, but you do need to be aware of these corrections and pullbacks. I'm going to give you my insights on where I think the market's going, where are the opportunities, where we're making money, and how you can absolutely nail this next 6 to 12 months. My name is Ben Simpson. I'm the founder of Collective Shift. We run Australia's leading crypto research company, and we deliver research to some of the biggest crypto exchanges in Australia, like CoinSpot, SwiftX, Coinbase, APAC, and we have over 1,000 clients. And I've been doing this for over 7 years now, so I'm really excited to bring together all of this research and help you absolutely crush this bull market. Now, kicking off with where we are in Bitcoin, as I said in the last video, we've broken out from finally out of this 9-month breakout period, 9-month consolidation sort of accumulation period, and we are ripping high. Now, why are we ripping so much high? It really has a lot to do with the US and the SEC and everything that regulations kind of been brought out. But now Trump is starting to make moves in the eyes of the market. So his company, social media company, is actually been eyeing off Backed, a massive crypto exchange over in the US. He is going all in on crypto. He's also just looked at tapping the back of crypto advocate Lutnick as the commerce secretary. Apparently, this guy actually owns around $200 billion worth of Bitcoin himself. So that's absolutely bananas. Really, he's starting to pull together. If you can imagine, like what the team is pulling together and the people he's moving out over the last 2 years, we've had to deal with Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, all these people that have been really anti-crypto. He is really not only building, one of the strongest, I think, the economies is going to be in the next 4 years for crypto, in the US, but he's building crypto around that as he knows that Bitcoin is one of the best plays for, the US government to essentially help their balance sheet and start to get out of some of their debt. So he's bringing on some amazing people, and this is so bullish for crypto. If you thought 4 years ago that we'd see such a pro-crypto president bringing on pro-crypto people around him to sort of build this sort of space, it's absolutely bananas. So super exciting. One of the biggest things that we are starting to see is the retail is returning. So this is a Bitcoin search over the last 4 years. We're nearly starting to hit those peaks where we were in late 2021 or sort of early to mid 2021. Bitcoin and crypto starting to become back in the limelight. Now it's really being pushed at the moment. The Bitcoin dominance is still around that 60%. The ETH BTC chart, which I'll show you here, is still reaching new lows. So Bitcoin is sucking all of the capital out of the market at the moment. Like a lot of the ETH altcoins, still are not doing much at all. Bitcoin is really sucking up really all the attention span, and that's got a lot to do with like the inflows of institutions that continue to buy. We had one of the biggest net inflows of Bitcoin the other day. I think it was over close to $1.5 billion of net inflows in a day, which is nuts. However, in my opinion, we still have a long way to go. So if we have a look at this chart here, this is the Bitcoin, the current Bitcoin market in contrast to the previous cycle. So the current cycle, we are still, in my opinion, probably 6 to 9 months away from the peak of this cycle. If we think about the tailwinds that we've got behind this cycle, arguably it's been the best we've ever had, and the previous peaks have still been in that sort of second year after the Bitcoin halving event. So I still think we have a fair bit to go. The other chart we like to look at is one of the on-chain analysis charts we look at is the MVRV ratio. So this is the market value to realized value ratio. This is essentially giving us an indication of how much Bitcoin holders are in profit versus the market rate of Bitcoin. And we still see in the previous 4 cycles, this has pretty much picked the top. We have gone way through this ratio in previous cycles, depending on how crazy things get, but we aren't quite there yet in terms of where that MVRV ratio has triggered a sell signal in the past. But right now, things are looking very, very bullish. Some of the on-chain analysis that Checkmate, our on-chain analysis, has been producing for our members is really showcasing us that the performance is tracking previous cycles. And if we have a look at even the monthly performance right now compared to the quarterly performance, we know that Q4 is historically the best time for crypto. I think there's a chart here somewhere. The Q4 we've been talking about for a long time historically is the best quarter for crypto. Plus, when you get Bitcoin halving event on the year, that quarter is the best of all the 4 quarters. So we've had a cracking October and November, up 29% so far. It's crazy to think that the numbers that we're talking, like it's only a 5% move-ish to $100,000 now. Like these numbers are way, way higher than where we've been in the past. If we close a strong month, which I think we do, we start to see these quarterly performances roll through. Like I do believe Bitcoin's going above 100,000 before Christmas. I've been saying this for a little while now, and I do think we're going to start to see prices start to really ramp up in the altcoin space, which I'll talk about in a second. But essentially, like, as we still see new net inflows, we get these, these big FOMO events. We see the US government starting to elect more crypto people around them. Like, again, the headwinds are very, very few, and the tailwinds are starting to really pick up. So I think right now I'm sort of eyeing off, same with the team, around that 120,000, 130,000 US dollar mark. As we start to get there, I do think Bitcoin will start to cool off. What I'm hoping, if we start to see a cool off period for Bitcoin, is we start to see what happened back in 2021 when the ETH BTC chart starts to inverse, and we start to see the altcoins start to get some attention. Essentially, what usually happens in bull markets is that Bitcoin will go on a blue sky run, or it'll suck up all the capital, all the attention, all the focus. People will be scared about holding their altcoins, or right now Ethereum, sell their Ethereum and their ETH alts into Bitcoin. Bitcoin will then consolidate, and then money will start to rotate down. Now, what we are actually seeing at the moment is not that. We're seeing money really rotate into Solana and meme coins, essentially. So if we have a look at this chart here, this is the sector returns of the month to date. This is in November. We're really seeing meme coins way outperform Gen 1 smart contract platform. So again, this has been a big one for us, the next gen layer ones. So Sui, Solana have been really big. We shared those. I shared Sui about a month ago to our members. That's up about, I think it's about up 100% or 200%. I don't know where I even put that here. Here it is here. I added Sui to my portfolio back on October 15th, up about 100%. These next-gen layer ones are the, attracting a lot of the attention. And I think if you're looking to add capital in the market right now, I wouldn't be focusing too much outside of those next-gen layer ones. Bitcoin, I do think Ethereum will break out probably in the next couple of months, but then also having a good meme coin allocation as well. That's really where all the mind share is going in the space. And you can see that, this is the heat map of mindshare. This is a great AI platform that tracks mindshare of investors, essentially through sentiment tracking, and all of it is happening around that meme coin space. A little bit of AI recently, but these other stuff in terms of GameFi, DeFi stuff, not a lot of action. And I don't think DeFi is really going to take off until ETH, the BTC, starts to break out. So still waiting for this to see historical levels. I do think that we're going to start to see more and more people throwing the towel. I think Ethereum will continue to probably underperform for maybe in the next couple of months. We are seeing these about these territory here around this 0.32 levels is where I think we'll hopefully start to bottom out and the market start to return. However, in saying that, it's really going to rely on when Bitcoin really breaks out and we get to some pretty crazy numbers. So where are we right now? Well, I think one of the biggest things I'm seeing our investors make, and new members coming on, is that they're forgetting that the market doesn't give a flying fahoozer about you. The market is the market, guys. Just because you hold something, you've been holding something for years, doesn't mean that the market is going to just give you a bunch of momentum. Hope is not a strategy. I've been talking about that. We have started to see money rotating some of those older chains that I've been pretty bearish on, like ADA and XRP. Money rotates between sectors, guys. They're still top 10, I think top 15 projects, but they're still down 60, 70% from their all-time highs. I'm just saying that in a bull market, most things will go up, but the opportunity cost of holding something that Solana, for example, that's done a 5 or 6x over the last, however long, versus holding something that's down 80% and it's done nothing for 4 years and then goes up 100%. So now it's only down 70% to come back and start, thinking that you're right, well done. But that's not exactly, long-term investing. Yes, you can look and make a conversation or a narrative for anything if you look over just a 1 month period, but you've got to really zoom out. If you've been a long-term investor, a lot of those assets have underperformed. So what I'm trying to say is that don't fight the trend. You're better off going with the trend and going with what's going on in the space. And that's really been around those, even if we go the year to date, disregard RWAs. I'm not sure why that's so high, but if you look, really, everything's been around meme coins, the exchange tokens, store of value, next gen layer ones, some DeFi, but then everything below that, like AI, the Bitcoin ecosystem, gaming, file storage, data, all of these other chains and sectors have really underperformed. So go with the narratives, don't fight them. However, in saying that, you really don't want to switch between coins. This is one of the biggest, I think, lessons I learned back in 2017, and I was able to avoid this and make a lot of money in 2021 cycle. And what I really try and teach and remind people about is that money rotates between sectors really quickly in crypto. Money will go to the old layer one chains, will go to the new next gen layer ones, will go to AI coins, will go to gaming, will go to meme coins. Money flows around. What you don't want to do is chase these narratives. You don't want to chase when money rotates between sectors, because that's when essentially you're going to get chopped out, right? You get chopped out because your coins aren't getting a lot of attention. So you move your assets to another sector. That then cools off and the sector you're just in starts to run. And I've seen this time and time again. So remain patient. Don't get overly impatient. Don't let the FOMO kick in. Really allow the market to come to you. And don't go chasing. It's very hard to do, but just remain patient and know that bull markets are going to reward you in different ways. You can't be in every single sector. Now, the next thing I just wanted to talk about was just around, the ROI of the Bitcoin cycle. Like, again, everything that I'm seeing is still giving us an indication of 6 to 9 months to go. So I still think Bitcoin is a good buy. I bought some more Bitcoin today. I think the market is still good. I just wouldn't be going crazy. Like, if you have a $500,000 portfolio, I wouldn't be putting $250,000 in right now into like meme coins, for example. Like, I wouldn't start to add like crazy amounts of percentages into your portfolio because you're really going to make most of the money in those assets that you've already been in. Yes, if you want to add some more money to the market, go for it, but just be careful and don't go too crazy down the list and start to really beef out your portfolio, because this is where really what's going to happen is that you're going to get the FOMO, you're going to get the excitement, and you're going to throw a bunch of cash in, and essentially, we are heading into the later stages of the bull market where, we've probably got 6 to 9 months to go. But I just see people doing crazy things when the market really pumps. And the reality is, when we get to this point where ETH BTC breaks out and we really start to see the altcoins pump like we saw back in 2021, like this is where things get absolutely, nuts, right? This is where back in 2021, when the ETH BTC chart really breaks out. Oh my goodness, get away out of here. I need to log in. Anyway, that's just going to water here, folks. Sorry about that. But essentially, back in this 2021 period, when we went from like 0.31 to 0.8, we were essentially went on a 3x run of ETH breaking out. That's when the altcoins really go and things get really bananas. So that's where you're going to make most of your money in the altcoins. You do need to be patient. Still stack a bunch of Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's going to the hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million in the next 10 years. Based on what's happening in the US, like there is really so much excitement and so much FOMO and so much good stuff happening behind the scenes for Bitcoin to continue to be the space that you want to really focus on. Now, the other thing as well, in terms of like just looking at the total three, which is the altcoin market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're nearly at that all-time highs in contrast to previous cycles. So this is essentially the chart of the amount of altcoin market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we got to 1.1 trillion back in 2021. We're only at 824 billion, so we're not even at the all-time high peak of where we are in previous cycles. So just be aware of that. We are now in the total market cap though, all-time high. So the size of the space itself is now the biggest it's ever been. So just be aware of that. I do think some plays that you should be aware of. Meme coins again that I've been talking about. I'm very bullish on that. I think PopCat is probably the next one to be listed on Coinbase. This is backed up on Polymarket. You can see that, PopCat's the next highest rated to potentially go on Coinbase. We know that we're in that season right now when things get listed on these major centralized exchanges. They go nuts, so be aware of that. I do think PopCat's a good play and one that I shared to our members 2 or 3 weeks ago that's done really well. Next-gen layer ones is really important. I think the Sui and Solana are going to continue to outperform. More TVLs piling into those sectors. And while Ethereum's underperforming, you do want a good percentage of Sui and Solana, in my opinion, around that. And then, as I mentioned just before, around the sector returns, just not fighting the trend. You really want to make sure you're jumping on those trends and not trying to fight upstream in a bull market. You really want to go with it. Last but not least, really let that market come to you. Don't chase the market. Don't start chopping in and out. Really understand the rotation of capital is going to happen faster than you can keep up. So you don't need to, get too crazy and be worried that you're not getting in all the sectors, because you simply can't. And, I still think, where we are now compared to where we're going to be over the next 6 to 9 months. You got Raoul Pal going out saying that we could get to $100 trillion crypto market cap in the next 10 years. That is nuts. If we even get to 50% of that, even if we get to 50 trillion, a 15x from here, we have such a long way to go. It's such a fine balance between selling too early and not being bullish enough, and being too bullish, not selling at all. But I really, really recommend to you, as you're making these profits, as you're starting to get these portfolio returns, and some of the coins you're getting in are really making some great returns, make sure you take some chips off the table. I'm eyeing off that 120, 130,000 US dollar level for some BTC. I'll start to take some profits there. Once we start to see that money rotate into altcoins and we start to see some real euphoric retail movements, that's where I'm going to start to take some profits. I don't think now is the time just yet, unless you've made life-changing amounts of money. I do think we have a fair way to go. But again, you don't want to get too euphoric. So keep a lid on it. take chips off the table, allow you to do some things. You don't need to ride everything in the market 100% of the time. And if you have more money, if you have $700, $800, $1 million, you don't need to take all that risk anymore. Like, you've actually been able to grow a great portfolio. You don't need to bet the farm on crazy stuff anymore. Like, rotate it back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's compounding at 45% a year, CAGR, over the last 10 years. That's absolutely bananas. Even if it goes down to 20 or 30% CAGR, moving forward, and you've got $1 million in Bitcoin, you're sorted, right? So you don't need to keep, continuing to bet the farm. You can de-risk, put some money in some, less risky or less volatile assets like Bitcoin, and ride the wave, folks. Then you can do some more high net worth things. You can do some lending, do some OTC, you can do a bunch of different stuff. But we have a long way to go. Buy or sell, I think it is still a buy, folks. I'll be letting you know when I do think it's time to take profits. But for now, hold on. What an exciting time. If you like these videos, I'd love for you to leave me a subscribe. It does showcase to me that I'm giving some sort of value and allows me to keep investing and keeping you coming with some awesome free videos. So thanks so much for listening. Leave a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.